Hi, I'm Atira Tan. I'm a somatic trauma specialist and educator, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. My work focuses on trauma informed somatic approaches to healing, including how we prepare for, facilitate, and integrate both plant medicine and psychedelic experiences safely, with care, integrity, and also with compassion. So, this channel is for anyone who wishes to learn somatic trauma resolution and is also for guides, facilitators, therapists, or psychedelic practitioners who want to reduce harm and also learn how to support real trauma resolution. So hit the subscribe button and join my trauma informed community. This is a path of a warrior, and you are definitely, if you're here, a warrior of love. So thank you so much for being here on this journey with us. Before we start getting into the theory of this mini lecture, I like to refer to a mentor and also a great inspiration of mine called Dr. Gabor Mate. And in one of his articles, he writes, and I quote him, "The deep psychological and spiritual dynamics potentially brought to our awareness during ceremony require guidance, both before and after, for their full integration. Even participants who have lovely experiences in plant medicine may not derive the complete benefit without some guidance and help with interpretation." I love this quote as we start to dip our toes a little bit more, because I think that in our Western culture, especially, which is more individualistic oriented, there might be a trend and a tendency to collect spiritual experiences without much integration or embodied wisdom. And in my perspective, working with hundreds and hundreds of plant medicine participants, the cost of quote unquote collecting experiences in the absence of a commitment to a trauma informed integration practice is that this wisdom and the insights that are received through plant medicine remains a memory. And sometimes this can be a distant memory, it can just be a remembrance, and it doesn't permeate into the fabric of people's daily lives in a way that actually promotes meaningful change in themselves and the world around them. When we do a plant medicine experience, it is such a huge opportunity for growth and also for healing that can really amplify and spread out into our lives. So, this spreading and really anchoring is what we want to support people with in their journeys. Some research evidence to back this up is a recent qualitative journal that was published in the Journal of Psychedelic Studies in 2022, where researchers found that up to 30% of participants in a qualitative study reported integration challenges. Some of these challenges included mood fluctuations, post ecstatic blues, disconnection from their community, re experiencing of symptoms that came up in the plant medicine experience, spiritual bypassing, and a lack of support. Now, even though I have seen more and more of a shift in the perception of integration in the last few years, but for the most part, what I'm noticing is that the importance of this space is usually regarded as an afterthought in this unregulated medicine culture. Integration work perhaps is not seen as enticing or well understood in plant medicine circles. And as a result, it does not receive the attention and the emphasis that it very much deserves. To begin actually perceiving the integration process as equally important as the medicine itself in our path of healing and growth, we have to first better understand the importance of integration and what it is. So here it is, this big question. So, what is plant medicine integration? In my role as a somatic integration specialist, integration very much is about helping and assisting clients to become an embodiment of their insights. Hence the word that I use, embodied integration. So, how we integrate these insights from what we've learned from the plant medicine experience This might be the application of the tools and the perspectives that we receive will ultimately inform the integration process. Integration can also be seen as the sacred process of transformation, moving from insights and experience into an embodied living reality where our thoughts, our feelings, our words, our action, and behaviors actually is an extension of that plant medicine experience. So, what this might look like in daily life, it might look like changes in the nervous system. We might be looking at change in affect or what we call emotion. It could be transformation in the way how we think about ourselves or our thought patterns or our beliefs. And lastly, changes in the environment, in our behaviors, and also in our actions. So, as you can tell, there are so many dimensions and nuances in the integration journey. And in the somatic plant medicine integration model, our role as practitioners really is to offer the layers of support for our clients so that they can really settle into the resources that they have harvested, their somatic intelligence, anchoring this deeper into their nervous system so that they can be embodiments of their plant medicine insights and learnings. Another thing that maybe I would love to name is that the path of integration is often misunderstood. When I ask people, oh, tell me about your integration journey, a lot of people start to tell me about practices. And when I inquire more, there are individuals that share that, they feel that integration are practices that they do, like mindfulness practices or resourcing activities that they may make time for after a plant medicine ceremony or an altered state of consciousness experience. Now, indeed, breathwork, meditation, movement practices, all of this can be very, very helpful for the integration process. But integration is so much more than practices that we do. Also, another thing that I love to name is that there are a lot of wayfarers that believe that this path is actually about transcendence. And I like to bust that myth in alignment with indigenous wisdom and philosophy that I really honor, that I've been trained in, and that I advocate for and teach. This spiritual path and this integration process is really about wholeness, which is one of the first philosophies in indigenous wisdom, that we are born whole. Yeah. And I think that one of my favorite quotes is a quote from C.G. Jung. And Jung, he said that if I could choose to be good or if I could choose to be whole, I would prefer to choose to be whole. So the journey of wholeness really invites us to bring together the transpersonal dimensions of consciousness and also what it means to be human in this body being the vehicle of consciousness that we live in, and the wisdom of our bodies. We bring it together and we perceive and behold it as one, not separate from each other. Plant medicines do not stop working when ceremony or the retreat is over. Actually, the plants are our allies and they stay with us for life. So, working with psychedelics and plant medicine for most people can really start a healing journey deep within our souls that has its own time signature. We cannot push the integration process. It's almost like an entity in itself that we can co create with, but we cannot push or pull it or will it to happen. It's a time signature that sometimes can take days or weeks, months, or sometimes, in my experience, even years to complete and to integrate. The purpose of integration is to maximize the healing process that is offered through the sacrament. And our role as integration practitioners is to offer layers of support so that this healing experience can be anchored in the body and the nervous system through the somatic plant medicine integration model. And in this philosophy of wholeness, it can also really touch and land in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls, and our spirits. So this is the goal in somatic plant medicine integration, is to help our participants to be an embodiment of their insights. Now, this could involve assisting them to resolve traumatic memories. This could be making changes in their external world to match the inner transformation that they may have experienced with plant medicine. It might be supporting them in the meaning making of the psychedelic experience. And we may move towards helping clients to move towards a greater sense of balance and wholeness in themselves. So integration is a process, it's not a destination. It is a perpetual unfolding. Yeah. And it's not getting from A to B. It can take years, it can never reach a peak, but it has its own intelligence. Yeah. And the more we pour our awareness into this process, then the more it will blossom and grow.